Okay, try that. Looks like it. Yeah, looks like we're good. Think we're good. We're good.
Good morning. This May 29th, 2026. We recognize the work takes place of the award of so many people. We recognize the history and the culture and all the different ways. Sorry, clerk. Lord. That's this meeting. Okay. Will be the approval of the minutes was presented in the motion for acceptance. Jill and second by all those in favor. Agenda. Any discussion? There are none. 24th. The motion to accept the minutes moved by John, seconded by Jim. Eric, Gerard, hearing none, the minutes are carried. Okay, first order of business was application D5 and D 2026. Applicants Delaney and Russo, the address 42 Rapids Road. The applicant is proposing to cover two parcels of land from an existing parcel of 150 acre parcel of land located on Rapids Road and the north side of Summit Road in the east between Lot A, the regular shade lot, the northwest portion of the property was approximately 370 feet fronting the Rapids Road and approximately 2.3 acres in the area. Lot B includes the concept property. The proposed lot B is a rectangular lot with approximately 500 feet fronting the Rapids Road and approximately 3.1 acres in the area. Motion to the or for discussion, Jim seconded by Jeff. Comments, members? No. Entering.
No.
Then for recommending the status application for the town, that and recommended council grant consent for service application six, the following conditions. All realty taxes are paid in full, part of it is paid in $150 for each new lot, municipal service $500 is paid, road lighting is required on the side lots on the second line of roadway to Rapid Road. Public works manager on the severed lot as well as every zone, every parcel is marked in the lot is rural residential. Moved and seconded, all those in favor? We'll go second to the June second council meeting and applicants will be notified. 13. Applicants location B road. The proposal approximately 825 road. Lot 110 feet frontage on the road and approximately 2.89 acres in the area. Lot B is in lot A, lot with approximately 210 feet road and approximately 2.89 acres in the area. Moved by June, by Jack. Comments, questions?
There were a couple of consents, in this file. The counties reviewed that as DOT requirements for additional.
Okay, no other comment,
No other comment.
okay, so. Be it resolved that and recommend the application about for a considered application due 14/20 and constituent following all parkland fees in the amount of $150. Municipal service in the amount of $500. Roadwide required along the severed lot to form a 30 feet from the center line of travel roadway in Verify Road. Works manager. The severed lot of work. And rezoning of the severed parcel for rural residential. We move the second and all those in favor. Carried, those for, as well as June second. Okay, applicants will be notified by staff. The next application. The applicant. First. Proposal, yeah, proposing to sell the existing map. Approximately 149 property appears to have meaning on it and would be approximately anything.
The only thing on the committee is you'll notice the structure of some of the material different for this file. This is the first file that's kind of fully been shared in the cloud permitting system. So the application is a little different. We have a copy of the MPS reporting and conservation comments. We should have access to some more information. Work with maybe to be able to see some of those comments as they come in through the portal. And I quite a document. But got that hard move. And he's got some comments. Mark,
Right. As well, although, or June second. The calendar, approval. Okay, that. For consideration. Application at 17 Countryman Road.
yes. It's on the agenda today for the committee to take a quick review at the drawings. Council in 2022 had passed the bylaw under direction from the province at the time that the zoning administrator has delegated authority to sign on-site plan control applications. That comes with a duty to consult a number of agencies and our partners at Hastings County, as well as our internal staff. One of the listed members, zoning administrator, the Committee of Adjustment Planning, sending the final holding request to council to pass a bylaw to remove the holding. So I have the drawings here before you today. If you have any comments that you'd like to offer for that review process for staff, you can pass those on to Gibb at Hastings County. We continue to put a package together for the applicants. I will note we have completed our internal circulation, and the only comments of note were from the building department on stormwater management plan materials that they're going to take care of at the building permit phase. I had some comments regarding exterior lighting locations to be clarified. Other than that, staff didn't have any further comments.
Let's go to council.
I don't have a date at this time. It'll depend on comments coming in from the agencies as well, and then how quickly the applicants can comments and concerns before we sign off on the application.
So on the lake, for the last call, property neighbor property. How I
Read lately?
Okay, so, all right, so we'll, proceed with this posted, where it's at, and,
In the staff updates, we certainly can. I'll have at some point in time, there'll be a final sign off for myself. We have a request from council at the time to circulate to the property owners to let them know that the holding provision will be lifted. So that will go out, and then at some point in the council meeting, hopefully in the near future, bylaw will be passed.
or it's another opportunity for comment. And
No, the public meeting has been held. The zoning amendment is done. There's no public consultation process in the Planning Act for site plan control. It's more of an internal process. Yeah, we're still online though. The holding provision, we have a duty to provide notice to the public generally anyway. This was just an additional step. When they get that notice, they could register as a delegation of that council meeting. My letter will indicate that. But it is not a public planning meeting in the sense that the planning act. No, it would be more just events like something about something. To ask them.
we're
I'm confident we've done everything we can on our end to continue to move this along for sure.
we don't know how to hold up the.
no, I think it did good that they had to quickly into the planning committee. There are a number of reports and studies that they had to have prepared and presented back. And they did that. And now it's moving forward.
Exterior lighting on site plan control, yes. Yes. We want to ensure that there is adequate lighting at that site. In the fall, it's, getting dark before 5 o'clock. That operation will be open. We want to ensure that the folks getting in and out. It's a rural area, so it's not, in town, it might be less of a concern, but in a rural area like that, it definitely needs some exterior lighting to make sure we can get people in and out of that site safe.
Neon lights over there keeping her awake.
I felt that the officers did assure her that that wasn't the intention, that they were listening. Yeah. Okay, I'm West subdivision. This is the referral for source water protection.
Yeah. So we have this on the agenda today to go over. Just kind of give a brief background here. So council had been tasked with reviewing their source water protection policies. Council heard a presentation from conservation this past winter. They also heard a presentation from Ainley Group, which represents the developer, last month, to highlight their side, some of the mitigating measures that could be put in place. So the Quinte Conservation presentation surrounded the importance of a 100-meter buffer, and Ainley's presentation was surrounding ways that through mitigating efforts, there may be an opportunity to develop within the 30-meter buffer. So council, after hearing those two sides, has recommended that planning committee now take a look at this and provide them with a recommendation on what council should do to direct staff to move forward with this as it goes to county council for approval, as they are approval authority for subdivisions. So there's a bit of history with this file going back to, I believe, 2023, and there's a number of materials that the committee should review, including some YouTube videos from previous conservation group or delegations. So we want to make sure, the purpose of putting this on today on the staff reports was to make sure the committee is comfortable with how you're going to receive this information, and also how you want to go about reviewing the delegation videos from the council meetings. I don't think there's a need for us to rewatch those videos as a committee in here. They're publicly available already on YouTube. If the committee wants to come in individually and watch those, or watch them at home, I can provide links to those. So just looking for feedback on how you want to review those delegations, because a lot of the real meat of the review is Mark Boone and Ainley Group. And then there's also another bills that we have in our file for River Street West that really require the committee to come in and essentially do some research in-house on where we started and where we are now to get the full picture of this entire project. Help shape your recommendation to council.
I think they were from OC, with your approval or anything, as you have comment from them.
No, I don't believe so. No, we do not have anything from Aqua on this file.
Is there a reason why?
I think the primary reason would be they're not one of the circulatory agencies, but that's certainly something we could get for the committee and your recommendation review.
It would seem to me the bigger issues are dealing with water, the water protection. And the men would be giving us some.
For sure, we can certainly do that.
Yes, no.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I know they work more with the Ministry of the Environment legislation, but again, this is our source water protection well, which they do manage for the municipality of Tweed. So from a technical perspective, it would be additional information on top of putting conservation's policy guidance that might help inform the committee's decision for sure.
Also, we would need a little bit of time. On between now and the next meeting, we have an opportunity to review that material.
But yeah, it's very get to that and be prepared, because there are been and what because there's a lot of information there. This has been on the books.
Yeah, no, the material that we've been going over internally, just to know for the public, these are all staff reports, previous reports that are available out there publicly. There's nothing in the file that hasn't been available publicly. It's just a matter of, I guess, for the efficiency of the committee, how we want to get the committee up to speed on this as opposed to anything new. It's all material through various public meetings that's already available out there. We've just kind of compiled.
Yeah, I think we put a has gone on is for the applicant, and then there's a level of frustration there that things aren't progressing with the decision.
How come we-
I think the best way for us is probably individual meetings with myself, because I can go over the file, I can go over the full timeline of events, I can set you up with YouTube videos here in the office. It would probably take the better part of half a day. Probably by the time you review the materials, we go over everything and you sit and watch those YouTube videos. But you're certainly free to watch those at home if you'd like, but I think that's probably the best way. You know, individually, we just go over the same information. And if you need a copy of something or you need to take something, we can accommodate that as we move closer. But to answer your other question, staff are hopeful as well that for our meeting in June that we could have this back on the table for discussion or for our planning. Yeah. Yeah, that's essentially the only entrance they have to the parcel that's going to work for them. Yeah, it's in the village. They'll be connected to our system.
Bring the road up.
That's correct. Well, we have the layout. We have that. Weird, yeah.
There was the first one before, initially, then after comment, putting conservation, and then there is a revised drawing.
Yeah, the project started at 23, 24 units. We're down to 20 units now. If you apply the 100 unit offer to the development footprint, we've estimated the project goes down to 10, maybe 12 units if we get creative. And it just doesn't become economically feasible for the developer to move forward with single detached development.
Well.
I'm not aware of 300 meters for this zone A of the source water protection. It's Quinte Conservation Source Water Protection Team recommending the 100 for development, even on town water. So, Ainley proposing potentially a 30-meter buffer as opposed to the 100 meters. So we have mainly recommending 30 with some mitigating measures that they proposed. And council essentially is looking for the committee to provide a recommendation either or. I think the only way to meet as a group would be for us to have an actual special meeting of adjustment, which we certainly can. The committee would like to do that. We can have an open meeting with these materials that hasn't already been shared publicly. It's more for compilation purposes. We would have to, if we're meeting as a committee and we're watching those videos together, they screen share somehow and sit here and run through those videos again. We certainly can do that.
Well, the time, because if you have an opportunity to look at any of the proposals, then, you know, you can eliminate actually fast forward your one, and then the answer finally, because you can go through the appropriate documents or there with it.
Yeah, the only thing I would know if we did a special meeting, it would be me talking a lot because we wouldn't be looking for a decision necessarily that day. We'd want you to digest it. There wouldn't be much deliberation. It would essentially be me talking on the mic and then us watching some YouTube videos that
It's not. We'll do the contest at some point to go over that stuff. I don't know. I'm not saying that would be wrong.
Yeah, I think I'll reach out to, for sure.
I don't know.
Yeah. They're comfortable enough with the information that's been out there, then there's, you know, unless you have a couple of questions, then there's no reason. Yeah. Okay, so that was the community members, the contact Lucas and get you. Prepare the next meeting to move it forward.
Which is, I believe. Okay, June 26th.
Why?
No, I,
Anything from the committee? I've always in favor of and adjourn.